It's Sunday again. It's always Sunday somewhere. That's absolutely not true. It's very rarely a Sunday. Only once a week. But it lasts more than 24 hours if you move around in the world. I've sort of tuned this guitar a little bit, but not very much. I know, a peaceful, contented Sunday to you too, Arafingal. It's a Sunday now, and it will be until it finishes. And finishing a Sunday is a difficult thing, and if you're not watching this on a Sunday, then it's already finished, or it hasn't begun because it comes around. What goes around comes around. So that's good. Yes. So, what have I been doing this week? What have you been doing this week? Getting by in America. I'm not living in America, so I'm not getting by in America. I don't even know why I said that. Getting by in America. In America. I'm all right, thank you, Chase. How are you? Yes. Are you getting by in America? Getting by in Canada. Canada is not the 51st state, and it's never going to be in people's hearts, even if it is, which we hope it isn't. But can't put past anything at this moment. It's all up in the air, isn't it? Depressingly so. Yes, blessed thank you. Oh, Mexican food in America and Canadian food in Canada. Canadian food, what would that be? Turtles. But they're made in America now. Oh, that's very, very unfortunate. And Denny's is also always. Tim Hortons is American now. Denny's was always, I think. That's a shame. Obviously, Coca-Cola is also American. How are you? I'm all right. Hola. Yes, hola. Yes, exactly. For the Mexican food, I don't know. I can't see what I'm like, is it 4 a.m. there? No, it's not 4 a.m. here. It's 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. GMT. No, I think it's still daylight savings. Yeah. It's not GMT for a little while, is it? What is it? British summer. No, it is GMT. It's very confusing because British summertime isn't GMT, is it? It's confusing. It's so confusing. Is it 4 p.m. there? Oh, it's not 12 hours different. It's only 4 hours different. There you go. 4 hours different. 4 hours after you. We're in the future here. The future is lovely. The future is here. Hey, it's 1 p.m. Woo! It's 7 hours away in Canada. I'm presuming you're on the East Coast because I went to Vancouver once and it was about 19 hours to get there and it was considerably different time. By the time I got there, it was quite tiring. In fact, I went all over the North Pole. Down. I was like, oh, look, is that Newfoundland? Is that how you say it? Newfoundland, not Newfoundland. It's Newfoundland. Change clocks next weekend. Yes, we do. We change the clocks. The clocks change. The clocks change. Hooray for the clocks changing. Clocks change. Hooray for the clocks changing. I've been doing a lot of things. Walking. Yeah. Ooh. A walking taco. Right. Oh, I see. Confusing. Yeah. This time. Yes. Newfoundland and India are half an hour different. Oh, even though they're not even anywhere near each other. It's confusing time, isn't it? We're all living in the same time, but we're pretending that it's a different time. Because I am watching you and you're watching me. No, I'm watching you. I am watching you talk to me and you're watching me. And if you're watching this live, we're all existing in the same existence at the same time. But if you're watching this pre-recorded, you're watching this in some time in the future, then this will be the past. It's already the past. What I just said is already the past, but it's here. What about the shaman? The shaman, the shaman, the shaman. What about it? What about it? That was in the past now. I've got the wig still. I can see it from here. Yes. The shaman. I haven't seen Chukwe for a little while. Hope he's all right. Yes, he's still chuckling along. Lovely Chukwe. Today we'll educate you to. Oh, yes. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Yes, educate me. Education. Educate me. Education is great. It's all time. All time is time. All time is relative. Our relative's time. Auntie time. Uncle time. Yes. And all the little baby times. Yes. And, now I've gone on to the herbs. La 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 la. Oh. Okay, yeah. Exactly. Quoting it. Anyway. So this is all a bit random because I'm responding to yeah. Anyway, people watching in Etherverse. In the world of the world. Who knows what will happen by the time you see this on Tuesday? The world could be different again. The world is different every single day. It's like, what now? I mean, people are going, it's easy to tell what's going on. It's utter chaos. That's what's going on. Is it already Tuesday? It's already Tuesday somewhere. It's already Tuesday in Australia. It's probably not. I think they're about 24 hours different. I don't know, because I still do a online show in Australia, even though I'm not in Australia, and they're in the middle of the night by the time I do it, and I'm at the beginning of the morning, and it's confusing. So I'm waking up first thing in the morning, and they are just going to bed in a minute. Yeah, so that's confusing. You have to leave at 9 p.m. Ooh, well, I don't know when 9 p.m. is for you. 9 p.m. is in about half an hour here, 40 minutes. So you have to leave quickly. But I know it's different. I'm going to Cardiff tomorrow, and I'm probably going to stay overnight. I was thinking of staying at the Sandringham again, but it is quite a depressing hotel. That's the one that in the Christmas special of the Doctor Who, that is the one that Joy stayed in. Joy stayed in a depressing hotel. And the room that I stayed in when I stayed in there before was way smaller. I probably won't because it's got no lift. It's got very, very steep stairs to get to the rooms, and the rooms are a very narrow corridor, and it's not the loveliest hotel in the world. I might stay at Holiday Inn or something. That's more expensive though. But it's really difficult to get back from Cardiff to here once you're there, because the transport system is not great. Although apparently they're going to have like a South Wales metro now. I was like, oh, that's exciting. Is that coming anywhere near me? No, there used to be trains. If this was 100 years ago, I could have just popped out there, just out the road, and got a train to London or Birmingham or Cambodia or something. Probably not to Cambodia. But now I have to go miles out of my way because there are no trains anymore. I went for a walk yesterday, the day before yesterday. The day before the day before yesterday. Oh, it's all blending into one. And I walked along the old railway line, the top line. There's a bottom line and a top line, and neither of them exists anymore. But one of them used to actually veer off and go towards an actual mine in the mountains. Now that it's much more pretty now. There's not a mine, but then there's also no train. So you've got your pluses and your minuses. And also, absolute months, for at least a year, I've been trying to go on a walk to try and find somewhere that I remember visiting with my mum and the dog when we had the dog quite a long time ago. And I thought I'd worked it out based on Google Earth. I thought I'd worked out where I was actually going. So I went for this walk on Thursday, confident that I was heading in the right direction. And then I got to a certain point, and I wasn't entirely sure anyway, and one of the roads into the woods was completely marmalised, that's a good word, by dirt bikes or something. It's like there was a road on a map from 120 years ago, but it wasn't a road. By 80 years ago, the road had disappeared. Now that road is just a mess now. If it ever was a road, it's not a road now. I think the thing is with all-terrain bikes is they ruin all the old roads. Like there's a Roman road somewhere near that it's just a pile of stones now. You can't tell that it's anything. This might have been a road, but now it's just a mess. So I tried going up that didn't go anywhere, and then I went the other way, and there was private roads and houses, and you couldn't get onto something. My dad was like, oh, there's this great pub that's down there, it's called the Robin Hood. It's like, oh, is there? And I looked on Google Maps and I was like, that's not there anymore. It's just a pile of bricks. And so that's also boarded up. You can't go there. It's private property. Somebody's built some houses. The old mine works. I think they're quite dangerous anyway. And there's no trains or trams going there. It was just like... So I got a certain way and I couldn't go any further. So where I think it was is going to have to be in my memory or in my imagination. It's like I'm beginning to think it doesn't exist, to be honest. Because we got there. I remember the dog ran away and we had to go and chase the dog, so we might have stumbled onto private property and thought that we were still in a place we could be. So that could have been why we ended up there. But there was a pile of stones that looked like some sort of it looked like it might have been something at some point, like an ancient burial chamber, and it was interesting, but we'll never know because I couldn't find it, and it's all boarded up and it's all private property, and I'm not going to go to the private property because I'm a good person who listens to signs. I listen to the signs and I see the signs and I look at the signs and I know the signs, and the signs are there and I take notice of the signs and the signs are there. Not like M. Night Shyamalan, not that one, not that signs, because that was a bit of an odd one. But the other signs I take notice of. I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. Anyway, would you rather be a hammer or a nail? I'd rather be a sparrow than a tree. Yes, I would. If only I could, I'd be a tree or a sparrow. I don't care. Am I the sparrow or the tree? Am I the air or the earth or the soil or the sky or the wind or the fire? Yes and no. We are everything and nothing. Nothing. I'm nothing. I'm everything. I'm nothing. Yes, a minnow. You would rather be a minnow than a whale. I'd rather be a whale than a minnow, or a minnow than a whale. I'd rather be the earth beneath my feet. I'd rather be a street. Yeah. So I don't care. I really don't care. Anyway, I was going to stay in student accommodation for Edinburgh this month, but the people I stayed with last year, who are not staying in the same place, and I thought that they weren't even going to have anywhere that I could stay, and I was like, oh well, I'll be on my own in student accommodation without even a kitchen or anything, and it'll be nice. It'll be a change. It's like, that'll be alright, it's quite near town and whatever. And I was like, yeah, that'll be good. But then they're like, hey, we've got a flat that we're going to stay in. Do you want to stay with us? And I'm like, yes, company, yay. And it's got a kitchen and it looks nice. And it's a little bit more expensive than I was paying for. But then it's not that far away. It's on the other side of town. And also it's got, company, and that's good because it can be quite isolating if you're doing a show, especially the sort of show that I'm going to be doing that probably many people won't come to. Nobody will come to it. I'll try and get people to come to it. It's in the books and stuff. So I was like, I got the blurb and I said to Mum, do you think that you would come to see this show? And she's like, oh yes, but she's obliged to say. She didn't say it like that because she's Welsh. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. She didn't say it like that. She said it like she says things. And I don't know whether she was telling the truth, but yes. So it is my show. Don't hate on the Welsh. I am the Welsh. I do not hate myself. I do not sound like I am Welsh. And that is not deliberate. It's just because I am nothing. I am everything. I am all the things and I'm nothing, none of the things. You know this. Yeah, exactly. Do not hate on the Welsh. The Welsh have to live too. And so do you. Yes, so Welsh. See, this is it. It's like, I am Welsh because I am Welsh. If somebody is something, then they are something. If they say they're something, then I agree. Whatever. But if you're not, and you are, and you are, and you're not. If you live in Wales, then you can be Wales. You can be Wales. You can be a minnow or a whale, yes. I can be a whale or a minnow. I can be, and so can you. If you come to stay here, then I will count you as being Welsh. Unless you don't want to be, and then you're not. That's how easy it is. Yes, so what Jonah said. Yeah, Jonah very much, was that a whale or a leviathan? What's the difference? A leviathan has got a stomach you can live in, and a whale has not. Although there was somebody that got swallowed by some creature of the sea, and they stayed in there for a little while, and out they come. Ooh-wee! Out they come. It was not a whale. It might have been a whale. Was it a whale? Anyway, everyone got really excited by this and said, "Ha ha! You can live in a whale, but you cannot because you would be digested." Do not live in a whale, but come and live in Wales. Multiple whales. You're very welcome. I mean, I'm not the ambassador or the king of Wales or something. King of the whales, I am. I'm not. But I say you can stay here. And even though I was like, do not trespass on public property, on private property. Do trespass on public property, because there's no such thing as trespassing on public property. So I'm a little bit disgruntled that all the places that I wanted to go were hived off. There was like fences. No, do not come any further. Now I'm like, does that count to me? Is that just cars? I'm not car. So maybe it was just to cars. Maybe I could have actually walked up the road and if somebody had said it, like, I'm delivering a letter? I'm a post person? Post people. People that are not people anymore are post people. It's a nice euphemism for the afterlife. It's like, woo, I'm a ghost. I would have gone. if they questioned me, you're not a post person. I am. Woo, I'm haunting you. I belong here because I'm the spirit of the mountains. I'm Mivanwi Bloodwin. Woohoo, Bloodwith. That's the Bloodwith is the owl-faced, flower-faced owl woman that's from the Mabinogi on. It's all a bit weird Welsh folklore, really. So have I told you about this before? That this guy doesn't have any person that wants him. So his mother makes him a woman out of flowers. And then she turns into an owl because she doesn't like him. It's all a bit confusing. I'm like, what? She goes off with somebody else, goes, just because you created me for this person doesn't mean I have to stay with them. And also, I'm a person made out of flowers. Flower face, it means. Bloodwith. Flower face. But she does turn into an owl, I think, which is why the Owl Service by Alan Garner, where there's scratching in the attic, and it turns out that there's plates that have got weird patterns, and you cut them up and you can make an owl. And this other stuff happens, but I can't actually remember what happens. But there was a TV series sometime in the past. Anyway, so Welsh folklore. So I'll go into the mountains and go, I'm supposed to be here because I am here. But so I read up on there's apparently a brickworks up there. So maybe there's, I don't know. I think the road I was going, there would have been a brickworks, but I never got that far because I was like, oh well, better not go this way because the sign says that I can't. But maybe I could have done. Maybe you should not obey the signs. Maybe the signs are just a bad sign that's misleading. Yes, but I was thinking, wow, I can go on an adventure anywhere. I was walking in I I don't know whether you saw the thing where I found this thing in a tree and there was all spooky trees and stuff. That was the same walk. The other part of it, because I meant to film it landscape, and then I realised that I'd filmed the entire thing absent-mindedly portrait. So it's like not great on this platform. I mean, I can upload it. Maybe I will as a sort of link only. I don't know. It's because it's about... Anyway, I haven't put the whole thing up because I'm like, oh no, there's like an hour of me wandering around, meandering down country lanes going, what's this here? That's not what I thought it was. But it was an adventure. And I saw a tin bath and a weir and a little tiny bridge and a abandoned pub, but I did not see what I meant to see. And seemingly some sort of motorbike or car that had melted. It melted. It was a bit spooky, yes. Do I have an email? I think everyone's got an email, yes. Anyway, not everyone. Most people. So, yes, it was a bit spooky. And also, apart from the melted car or bike, or it might have been they tried to go up the road and they're like, and then it melted. It spontaneously combusted. It was just melted into the what was a road that is now not a road. I was like, what's going on? But also, a while ago, I think this is here, a while ago, a little part up along that road, further up, I'd gone into a little grove and there was just strands that looked like metal, and everyone's like, that's just something organic. But I went there again and I was like, they're still there, and I touched them and it's like, that is metal. There was like strips of metal. Very much like, hey, do you see the Tesla where somebody peeled back the top of it, like peeled back, and there was just like a strip of metal, like, and then it sort of folded up on itself. It's like that. It's like somebody had stripped all the bits off Tesla and left them in the forest. Now, that wasn't a recent thing because they were there last year. So if they have done that, they did it in a sort of, maybe it's a timey-wimey thing that somebody's done it in some time in the future and stuck them back into the ether, and they're like, whoa, the evidence, where shall I put the evidence? I'll throw it in the air and it'll go back in time into a wood in Wales. That's what happened. Anyway, I was like, I was thinking, is this aliens? Is this just somebody's bits of, I'm not sure what it actually was, but it was like strips of metal, and it was like, this is odd. Why are there strips of metal in the wood? Did somebody put it? But it looked like there was like a little weird blank sign and a sort of a hole in the ground, as if somebody was trying to trap bears or something, or people. Maybe it was a fairy trap. Not a trap for fairies, a trap set by fairies to gullible people that are wandering and like, woohoo! And then I touched, and maybe I disappeared. Maybe I didn't come back for hours and years and days. Actually, it was a very short walk. This is it though, right? I thought, wow, this is a long walk. I'd gone for such a long walk. I thought, this is such a long walk. And then I got back home, and it was barely any time had passed. And it said that I'd done 7,000 steps. I was like, 7,000 steps? Is that all I did? I've gone for miles. So there was definitely something timey-wimey going on. Whereas usually, you've disappeared for longer than you thought. I was there for ages, and no time had passed. So I was trapped by the fairies in a grove in Wales, in the mountains, near a railway that is no longer there. Or maybe it was in the time that I was there, because all time exists at the same time. All time exists in the here and now, and the there and now, and the now and then and now and now and then and then and now and then and now 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 and then. So that's what it was. It was a time shifty shift. So I wish it had been, because then if I'd have gone back in time, then that pub that is no longer, I never saw that pub, so I don't know when this pub existed, but I think it probably closed in the 70s or something. My dad was like, we used to go up there and have a drink and then wander back down the country roads going, ah ha ha, I hope there's no cars. There's barely any cars because it's the middle of nowhere. This is it, it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the pub was on the way to work when there was a mine, but now there's no mine, so there's nothing there. So I can see why this pub closed, because there was no through traffic. There was, and now it's just a sort of a forbidding lane, literally forbidding, going, do not come down here. No, 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 not for you, not for the likes of you. But it was like, if that had still been there, then I could have gone in and had a can of pop or something. Because all the pubs have closed. There's like several pubs that were even open fairly recently that I was like, whoa. And also, there was a little shop that was closed last time I went past, and then it was open again. And I thought, well, I know that it's open now, so I'm going to go there and get some water, and maybe a packet of crisps, so I can go wandering in the mountain and not worry about supplies. So I walked past it. It was like, no, it wasn't open until 5 o'clock in the evening. So that was no good, because it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's like, so I had to go in dehydrated. But there was a country stream that I could have drunk in, but I probably wouldn't have done. It's called the Nant, which means a black brook. But it wasn't. But I think it was called that because it was from the mountain and the coal pits. So I imagine when there was coal pits coming, that all the coal dust would have gone down into this little brook and made it all filthy and horrible. And now it was beautiful and sparkling. It was a lovely brook. But it's called the Nanthe. There's another place called Confrador, which is a valley, or sort of little, a valley, a cold road, Coldway Valley, Coldway Stream, Coldstream Guards. No, anyway, fruit is way, another word for road or path. Cum is another word for dip or valley. It's not so much a valley as a sort of dip in a valley, because Cum Tilleri is a Valley of the Tillaries. There was a coal incident recently there, because they got all coal tips, and it was on the news that they still haven't cleaned up. There was apparently like loads of slag heaps, coal tips behind people's houses, and they didn't realise. I've got a friend that lives there, and he never said anything about it. And somebody, and the so much wet weather that it sort of drifted and went down and destroyed the back of their houses. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, because it could have been worse. But this woman was on the news going, I didn't know there was a coal tip behind me. Shouldn't say it like that, because that sounds more like West Country. That doesn't. But she didn't even know that there was a coal tip behind her until the coal tip came to her. Yes. The mountain came to the Wales Valley. Yes. If you're not going to go to the mountain, then the mountain will come to you. Whether you want it to or not, the mountain will come to you. Oh no, that's a lot of mountain to come to you. I wish it hadn't. It's horrible. It's all filthy and dirty and bits of old coal from hundreds of years ago, or maybe 100 years ago. Anyway, there was all sorts of things. Anyway, West Virginia, country highway, take me home, country roads. Yes, well, that's it. Because West Virginia, the mountains of West Virginia, the ridge that goes all the way through West Virginia, up through the Appalachia and through, and then sort of ends, that bit, when we were all one big mighty thing, that bit of mountain was joined up to this bit of mountain. There's a bit of mountain, there's like the coal field, there's a bit of Wales that joins onto another bit of Wales, and it clashed. And the bit of Wales that was Appalachia is coming right through. So that strand is the edge edge of the Appalachians that is now here, and it goes all the way up in a ridge, and there's a bit in Scotland too, but it's sort of whoosh, just a little strip of it where one part of the continent crashed into another part of the continent, and it's a completely different landmass. So it's a fault in there's a fault in the stars, there's a fault in the mountain. I hope there's not, because so it's a very long time ago, millions of years that this happened. So so it's the same coal that's here, the same coal that's there, but it's very much earlier there, but it's very much later here. It's the same coal. So all the legends that are in Appalachia and West Virginia, of all the monsters and things that live in the woods, and the fairy folk, and the people that live in the woods, and probably Chupacabra is more Mexican. Is there something like that in Appalachia? Same coal. Coal porter, yes. Coal porter! Coal porter, ported coal. But he had a lovely song to go with it. Ooh, he went, I get the coal. Everybody loves the coal in my soul. That's a different song. The pipes of peace. The pipes of peace. The coal of peace. Yes, exactly. There is coal. The same coal that goes through my veins. The veins of coal that makes me, because I am a child in this valley. Wah! I was born in this valley on a ley line, apparently. That's it. My mum had to go to an appointment in an old hospital that is now like an outpatients department. But when I was born, it was a maternity hospital. It's not a maternity hospital anymore, but they had huts. I was born in a hut. I was born in a hut on a ley line. That's very biblical, isn't it? I was like a stable in a manger. I was born in a hut on a ley line. I only found out it was a ley line because when I was living in Ross-on-Wye, the landlord and landlady were very into spiritual, weird stuff like this, and they took me to this place where they were doing dowsing, and somebody had a big chart of all the ley lines that they tried to find, and they were like, oh, they're doing a big project where they were tracing all the ley lines. I don't know whether ley lines means anything really, but if they do mean anything, then the ley line goes all the way through where I was born, all the way up to Appalachia. Woohoo! Ley lines, nothing. They mean nothing. It just means that something was. It's like the thing is, if you build something and then somewhere along the road you build something else, well, it's a ley line. It's like no, because that's the road where you forgot the things. It's like you got a thing. It leads to another thing, because otherwise, if you've got like the Robin Hood pub in the middle of nowhere, it's no good. It has to be on the way to something. Everything has to be on the way to something else. If it's on its own, you will not get there. You will just get abandoned. And that's what happened to the Robin Hood. The poor old Robin Hood that lives in the sea. There is no sea in the land. It lives in the mountains, in the valleys, in the stream. Next to the stream. But that's it. The little bridge. If you look at the other video, it's not here. But there's a little tiny bridge. I found a little bridge. It was such a tiny bridge. It was slightly broken, but it was like going over this stream. So there's this very narrow stream and the tiny bridge, the tiniest bridge you've ever seen going over this stream that would have led to the oasis that was the Robin Hood pub. It is no more. Oh. Now, if you keep going up that road, around the corner, up the top of the mountain, there's my mother's grandfather used to run a pub. He used to run a pub at the top of the mountain, not the Robin Hood, but a different pub. I don't know what it was called, the Railway Tavern or the top of the town. It was a place called Pantagasig, the Pant. And he and his family were up there. And all last week I was I don't know whether I was still looking for it when I saw you last, but all last week we were looking for photographs of, because my mum was like, there's this photo with my great uncles and great ankles. My great ankles are on it. No, my great uncles and aunts, and because she contacted a cousin that she hadn't seen for years. She tried to contact them, and it turned out that they had very sadly passed away only a month or two ago. So that's terrible. But they were going to send this picture to their son. But the grandfather that was of her that was on this picture wasn't on this picture. So when I eventually found this by tearing apart everything in the house, I looked everywhere, and I found so many photographs, but not the one that I was looking for. But then the very last thing that I'm still here. The very last thing that I found, I was like, whoa, it's there. Is this it? Is this the car? Is this the photo you're looking for? And it was. Anyway, so but I found other things too. Look at these. I don't even know who these are. Just like somebody. I think somebody must have collected these. Don't think these are family, but look, they're wearing the same outfit. I very much doubt they're family. I think it's just W. Porter, Newland Street, Colford. Now, actually, I am a bit confused, because Colford was actually where some of my family, my dad's grandfather. So most of my family is from Wales, but his grandfather walked from the Forest of Dean, which is right on the border, and which is quite near Colford. So maybe they are people that are from the family. Anyway, there was all sorts of things. There's like a dog. Is that my dog? I think it is. Timmy. My dog Timmy. Oh, I think it is. I don't know. I didn't know I had a picture of him. Ah, look, an emu. I went to Pennscunner Wildlife Park when I was a kid, and I found that. And then I visited my family, my French family, and we went to all the chateaux. My uncle drove us to the chateaux. I apparently wasn't grateful enough that he did that, which is, I did say thank you, but apparently I didn't say thank you well enough, and I got in trouble. Anyway, we went to one of the French chateaux all along the Loire. We went, oh, it was fun. That's where they live. Look at that. They didn't live there. It's a sort of old French farmhouse, and they've got like they kept their cheese in there. They kept their cheese in that room. That was fun. Oh, look at these! I found these. My Auntie Wendy used to do Eisteddfods, and she used to do recitations, and she used to do them, and she did Eisteddfod recitations, and then you get a purse of money, and these were the purses that she had the money in. So a purse of money in, and she had all these purses. So that's nice, isn't it? So I found loads of things like Gabriel Knight and the Beast Within. I don't know whether I could put some pictures that I had taken when I was 17. Woohoo! Publicity. My first publicity photos, which are no good because my uncle took them, and he's like, pose like this. It's like, they're no good. Can we get real publicity photos? Can we get a real photographer? He's a good photographer, but I don't think he quite understood the assignment. Oh, there's a good one though. That's not a bad one. That one, look at that. But it's like, ooh, I haven't asked. I've got Oscar Wilde pose on that. Anyway, that's yeah. And there's, oh look, and I went to Austria. These are the people that I went to Austria with that were in my class. So yeah, I think that's Kathy Brandon and Deborah Simmons, my classmates, and they're. So this is fun. Yeah, look at my photographs. Oh, thank you very much. That's nice. Oh, we went to the Louvre. So there's pictures of the Louvre. You're not supposed to take pictures, and also they're rubbish pictures. You can't tell what's going on, can you? What terrible pictures. And I think that's on the mountain in Austria. Woo, look at these pictures. And he found loads of things. It's like really bad pictures I took when I was a kid that they've come out really bad. Oh, there's another chateau. A chateau in the Loire. So, this is a nice one. This is my Auntie Wendy and my cousin Sophie and my cousin Sarah, and they are posing like the three muses in the Louvre. It's a terrible picture, isn't it? But yeah, you can sort of see. Lovely, and you can see stuff behind it. The Louvre was very dark. It was not an awful lot of light there. It's fun. What fun! Anyway, so there's all these pictures, and I took a picture of Pontypool backwards. I took it for, like, that's the place where I live, in the, just when I was a child. None of those places are there anymore. Boots is closed, Quicksave is closed, Tesco's is closed. Stop. There's no road anymore. Nobody, all those people, nobody comes to Pontypool. It's very depressing. And look at that. I took a photo of the back alleyway. It's like, I don't think I got very good marks of this. But then, look at that. There's a dog with a crow on its back. It's like, what? I took a picture of a dog with a crow on its back. And because there were friends of mine that were also taking pictures, they accused me of plagiarising them because I also took a picture of the dog with a crow on their back, and they took a picture of the dog with a crow on their back too. It's like, well, it's the same crow, just from a different perspective. Anyway, so that's very, yeah, so that's fun, isn't it? All these things. Anyway, oh, and these are some things that lived in our garden for a little while. They are guinea fowl. That's what they're called. And that's a lovely pond thing. Anyway, so yeah, anyway, we found loads of stuff. My grandmother and my Auntie Mary. I don't know whether I took that. Anyway, so that's fun, isn't it? Lots of fun for everybody. Picture of me and my brother. Anyway, found loads of stuff. Of no use to anyone. I thought I'd show you because what's it gonna? It's just like story of my life. I put all my pictures of me in this. So I've got like a little there's a picture of me with a weird thing on my head. It's just like, this is, don't know why I've got that on my head. I thought it's a scarf. I brought that to France as well, and I had my hair in sort of it was a plait, and that on my hair, and I got told off for looking wrong. It's like, oh, why you look like this for? It's just like, I just do. Anyway, so that's that. How exciting. So I will see you again next week. It will be a different month next week. Would it be? I don't know. Is it Easter next week? I think it might be my birthday the week after. Is it the 23rd today? Then it will be my birthday next week. Ha! I will be 1,004 years old. Woohoo! Happy birthday to me. So yeah, my birthday coming up. How exciting. So happy Easter. If it's we might have a break for Easter. I don't know what to do really. But yeah, so that's been an interesting couple of weeks, hasn't it, in the world. Anyway, I'll let you go now because I don't know what's going on, and everything's got all mixed up. That was fun for me. I don't know about you. So see you again next week. Ta-da! Ta-da for now. I don't know what accent that was either. Anyway, bye-bye.